Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I hope you're all doing well. This is your latest Manchester United news show on a Friday night. Also, we will be doing the Q&A, which we normally do on a Friday, so a bit of fun with that. Free Donny in the chat, says Ruari. But we're talking about two big stories actually for a Friday night. Quite a lot actually out there to discuss. First of all, we're going to be talking about, Moises Caicedo, the deal is now off. And also Paul Pogba potentially getting offered a new deal, and a few other bits and bobs as well. Let me just say as well, if you want to play United Stand Picks, we launched this on when did we launch this? For the Manchester City game. You can play United Stand Picks for free and win up to a part of £1,000 pot, basically. You can win yourself a share of that. You've got to be over 18 to play. It's free to play. The link is in the video description. The way this works, because it's a new sort of game that we've got through the United Stand, you win a pot of £1,000 and you get points for everything that you get right. So the 5 things you have to answer within the app are: Will Man United score in the first half? Yes or no, 2 points if you get it right. Will Man United score in the second half? Yes or no, 2 points if you get it right. How many shots on target will Man United have? +4 or under 4 points for that one. Will Man United be awarded a penalty? Yes or no, a point for that. How many goals will Mason Greenwood score? None or +1, 4 points for that. How many goals will Dan James score? And there's about 10 questions all in, and you can win points off each one of those questions. The people who get the most points share the pot of £1,000. So bit of fun, free to play, must be over 18. Links in the video description. Make sure you read all the terms and conditions there as well. And you can get involved in that for the Watford game. Plenty of time to get involved. But look, let's start off with the stream topics. I want to talk about Paul Pogba new deal. This is coming from Duncan Castle's transfer podcast, that United are interested in giving a Paul Pogba a new contract. What did I say? Things can change very quickly, especially around with Paul Pogba. But we're going to start off with Moises Caicedo. This is the Ecuadorian midfielder that we thought United were going to buy, that we've been talking about for 3 weeks, and lo and behold, we're not going to do it. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Manchester United are now orientated not to sign Moises Caicedo. He is not the priority. Manchester United were in control of this deal, but have decided against it. However, he will be joining a Premier League club. Risky, isn't it? And the one thing I will say is that, and I've said it many times before, no matter how well Solskjaer does, no matter how well Mourinho did, no matter how well Van Gaal did, they were always doing their job with at least one arm tied behind their back, because consistently we are a shambles when it comes to transfers. And I say it with total and utter conviction. Convince me I'm wrong. Like, we are a joke when it comes to transfers. Donny van der Beek bought in the summer, not used him. Caicedo, linked to him, cheap deal, don't get it. Sancho, desperate to come, don't do it. Centre-back, want him, don't do it. That's just in, summer before, need a midfielder, don't get one. Desperately have to get Bruno in January, turns the season around. This, we're in a really positive position because of what Solskjaer has done. We're not in a positive situation because what those who control transfers at United have done. This is not a rant. This is consistent. It goes back to the days of David Moyes. It goes back to the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, really. But certainly the days of David Moyes, right the way through Van Gaal, right the way through Mourinho, and all the way through Solskjaer. This consistent inability to be efficient and effectual in the transfer window. And yes, we have bought some good players. I'm not disputing that. But consistently, we don't deliver what we need to deliver at the time we need to deliver it. It's always too late or not at all. Bruno Fernandes, end of January, when we could have got him in at the start and we wouldn't have dropped those points to Burnley. Cavani and everybody else that we brought in after we'd already lost 2 games in the league. No right winger. It's always too late. It's always an embarrassment, and it's always ineffectual. And I want to make a point of this because there will be people that if we drop points after January, they'll go, Solskjaer out. But the only time I ever really get this to ram this down is when we're in a transfer window, because as soon as a transfer window's over, everyone forgets about those people who are in charge of transfers. And it's always about Solskjaer. But the reality is, here we've got a nice situation. We can go top of the league next week, but we all know we need transfers, and it's the board letting us down again. Ineffectual again. And this Caicedo, look, I'm not saying, the thing is, right, Can you say Harry is a prat for his birthday, says Ross Barkley. Harry, you're a prat. Mark, I'm still waiting for my number to get verified bin days. Maybe it's because I have an American number, says Magic Eye. Yeah, maybe get onto them. I had that problem as well. I've just been doing mine as well. I've got to verify my ID as well. My cat just asked if I want the radio leaving on while he goes out. Prat, says Luke82. So yeah, I mean, like, just on Caicedo, can I just say, we don't know anything about him. We don't know anything about him. We can't say that we've missed out on a really good player here because we don't know anything about him. But for £5 million, is it not worth doing that deal, safe in the knowledge that he goes to West Ham, he goes to Everton, and he becomes a £60 million player? You know it's going to happen. So why have we not done the deal? Why have we not decided to do that deal? We've bought 2 right wingers when we only need 1. We need a centre defensive midfielder, we need a midfielder, we need a centre back, and we go, no, we're not going to bother with that £5 million player who's playing international football for Ecuador and has performed really well against teams like Uruguay. We'll leave that one, we don't want him. Well, who are we getting then? That's my question. If we're not going for that player, who are we getting? Because the scary thing for me is we're turning down a player like that to stick with McFred. And people say, oh, you're being really disrespectful to Fred there. But I'm talking about the midfield pivot of McTominay and Fred. It doesn't work. So it's called McFred. Fred's only as good as the player he plays with. So United are comfortable to carry on with that pivot and not try and bring a player in. And it's frustrating because we all got quite excited about that. There was genuine news. Romano himself was saying United can do this deal if they want to do it. That was the news. We haven't been led down a garden path on a story off the back of the Daily Mail. This is a credible story that United were in for this player and wanted this player and then have decided, you know what, we don't want that player. It's frustrating because it would have been an exciting signing in a position we need. And the thing is, why have United not done it? Because if they had done it, everybody was excited about it and it was cheap. So they could have done it and gone, oh, that's appeased the fans for a cheap price and then not got anybody else. But now they don't bother even getting him. It's just frustrating, isn't it? If we'd never known, we never would have thought. If he'd just been going to West Ham and we weren't linked, we wouldn't have mattered. But the fact that we were in for him and we've decided not to get him just leaves you dissatisfied and pissed off. And it's always the way with us in transfers. I don't know why I fall into the trap, because I said it after Sancho. I'm not falling into the trap anymore until they hold the bloody shirt up. But you know, the board makes me not enjoy football, always fails to make moves, can't even sign an under £10 million player who's had high reward, low risk, so disappointing. I think you've said it perfectly, Shannon Sharp. Good evening, Mark. Just hit my 6th month badge. Thanks for all the content you and the TOS team do. It's so frustrating being so close and the board screws it up, says Rob Hatherley. Well, thanks for being a member for 6 months, mate. Remember, you can join if you want to become a member and get your badge next to your name. And I will be reading out some of the members' questions because I did ask that on the community tab in a bit. Does Van der Beek's lack of playing time make the board think that about Caicedo's need? Reed Rice is Frank's choice. Is Grealish Ollie's or United's choice? Says Frivanson. And Mark, we may have pulled out of the deal because of foreign player quota post-Brexit, says Harry Thomas. Who knows? Who knows, Harry? I don't know. I don't understand how Edward runs the club like a business in the transfer window, yet gives ridiculous long-term contracts to bad players, says Toby Shepherd. And Ricky has an agenda against Bruno. It's silly, says Amar Khan. But yeah, no comment. If you think that, then, you know, that's Ricky's problem. It's not mine. They're saving for Haaland, says Randolph, which leads nicely into the title of the show, Pogba New Deal. Now, this is coming from Duncan Castles, who, to be honest with you, if I'm being totally honest, and I always will be honest about my opinion, Duncan Castles was somebody I didn't really, take much notice of until Mourinho came. Massive fan of Mourinho. Supposedly good connections with Mourinho, and Duncan Castles became quite prominent in the United fan arena when we got Mourinho. Since Mourinho's gone, he's still somebody that people listen to about transfers. Doesn't get loads right, gets some right, but is quite anti-Ollie. So that sort of leaves it a little bit of a, I think a lot of people just think Duncan Castles is a bit of a joke because he does, he's quite negative about Solskjaer and United, and obviously he's very pro-Mourinho. But to be fair, he has got some things right as well. So, I think it's worth discussing. So what he's saying is that Manchester United are now prepared to go back and give Paul Pogba a big new deal. And part of that strategy may well be about sweetening Mino Raiola for a long-term approach for Haaland. So, look, that's the story. I don't know what you think about this, but what I have said it before. Pogba's in the team now. He's he wasn't in the team. Then he was alternating with McFred, and it was Matic and Pogba. Now we're still playing McFred, but we're finding a place for Pogba as well. He's established himself in the team. We're doing quite well. And the issue really, and it says it in Duncan Castle's comments that Pogba may well now be open to a new contract at Manchester United because there's a lack of options elsewhere. I mean, does this sound to you like a good deal to do? I suppose that's what I would say. Mark, you look at Jordan Taranga from Schalke, says Terrell Davies, and also getting your hopes up about a rumour some random Ecuadorian journalist started. Everyone else has themselves to blame, says Usman. But they didn't. Usman, you know what? Can I just sit down? It wasn't some random Ecuadorian journalist, was it? Because Fabrizio Romano spoke about it and said that United were in control of the deal and they can do it if they want to do it. So it wasn't. It did start off as Ecuadorian reports, but it actually came through Manchester Evening News and also Fabrizio Romano. So there was reason to believe it. It grew. Pogba gets a new deal. We forget about Caicedo. Glory, glory, Man United, says Jack Jones. So yeah, I mean, what do I think about a new Paul Pogba deal? Well, first of all, I like Paul Pogba the player. I don't like his agent. I don't like some of the things that come out through his agent. But I have said that now he's back playing in the team, and if he's playing well in the team, and if he signs a new contract, then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. But then again, Romano said last week 100% Paul Pogba was going to leave. So I don't think you can be 100%, especially when it comes to transfers and new contracts. How can you be 100%? Because, and I'm sure that's based on what he's been told. Mino Raiola, 100% he leaves Man United in the summer. But have Real Madrid got the money? Have Juventus got the money? And Manchester United are already in possession of the asset. They don't have to pay a transfer fee. They can just chuck money at a new contract. Should United do it is the question. And should we do it to get Haaland? I mean, I don't know. I'm perplexed about this. I'm sort of I'm conflicted really, because welcome to the Members Club, Joe Alexander. I'm conflicted about Paul Pogba because, look, if Paul Pogba plays really well every game, why would you ever let him go? But he has been inconsistent over the last 4 years, and basically on average every 8 months, regardless of how many years he's got left on his contract, his agent comes out and says how bad a club we are and how he wants to leave. So I don't think him signing a new contract will ever change these comments that come out that are quite disruptive. So I'm conflicted about what I would do with Paul Pogba, but what I've always said is I do think that there is still a possibility that United will keep him because, well, we'll offer him the contract and he will stay because, but is it the right scenario? You know, United saying here's a load of money to sign for United and sign a new contract, and Pogba going, no one else is going to offer me that because they can't afford it. I'll stay. It's not really what you want. You want to win the league and Pogba to go, my future's here. We're building something. I want to stay here now. So, you know, I suppose it's the criteria of him staying, isn't it? Which we'll probably never know. But I'd probably have more respect for Pogba if he just went in the summer, actually. Because what was said a few weeks ago about he'll never sign a new contract, he doesn't want to be here, he wants to go somewhere else. If he stayed till May and played his arse off and then left, I'd respect him. Because I'd be like, model professional, got his head down, played well in the shirt, and then did what he said he wanted to do. If he plays inconsistently till May, and then we don't win the title, but we still give him a new contract because no one else wants him, well, how is that a win for anybody? We've just, you know, he's only staying because he can't get something else. So let's just wait and see. I have said I don't think it's over for Pogba at United, and you know, the world we're living in, can anybody afford Paul Pogba? But he has only got 1 year left on his contract, so I don't know. I'd be interested to see what other people think. How can we reorganise that our squad has major flaws like the centre-back partnership and McTominay, but our manager can't? Says Michael Fetty. Pogba new deal would be linked to Haaland. If that's true, Martial could be on his way out of the club. So fed up and sick of the board, I'm giving up, says Paulo Ramirez. Don't give up. If this is true, it's an absolute joke. I want him gone. He's too inconsistent, says Sean Negative Turner. Causes too much drama. What are we going to do to keep him because no one else wants him, says Sean Negative Turner. Well, that'll be the problem. But then again, with 1 year on his contract, maybe somebody will want him. Also, another super chat from Sharath Kamath Fitness. He says, I tweeted yesterday, I have nothing against Maguire, but he was bought to be the player to improve us. Now we're looking to sign another one. Our recruitment needs to be questioned before anything else. Welcome to the Members Club, Mike Carolan and Rick James. Offering Pogba a new deal is a complete disgrace. Shows we don't care about our name or legacy. What he did was unforgivable. He needs to go. And honestly, he should leave. A player like him should be challenging for titles and winning trophies. The guy's been kept for too long. Our best player, says Ibrahim. Interesting, different point. And thanks for the super chat there from Ritesh. So we will get into this. I want to take lots of different questions as well. PJ the Turf says Pogba agenda. Well, mate, you need to clean your ears out because I have no agenda against Paul Pogba. I've always said I like the player. I don't like his agent. I don't like the way he behaves. But I think as a talented player, I've always liked him. So you're speaking to the wrong person there. I can definitely see both sides, and I'm conflicted on this. I think the circumstances... the only reason I would want Paul Pogba to stay is if we win the title and he goes, you know what, my future's here. If we finish outside the top 4 and no one wants him and he signs a new contract, I think that's a bad situation. Maguire, Rashford and Fernandes were all named in the December Premier League Team of the Month, says Tom Curtis. I don't know how Harry Maguire's made that. I genuinely don't know how. But I don't know how bad other centre-backs have been. But Harry Maguire only started playing well at the end of December when he played with Eric Bailly. Did we not concede shitty goals to Southampton and West Ham and Sheffield United in December? And he played in all games. We were averaging 2 goals a game. How's he in there? There is a bias towards Harry Maguire, and I don't know why. I don't get it. And I like Harry Maguire, and I think he played really well with Eric Bailly, but that was at the end of the month. I remember doing a stream in mid-December and saying we're averaging 2 goals a game, conceding. And then Eric Bailly came in the team and we started getting clean sheets, but he only played a couple of games with Eric Bailly at the end of the month. Most of the month we were shit. So there must have been some really bad centre-backs in the Premier League. United just don't act like other top clubs. They aren't going to help Ollie win trophies. How long before our top players like Bruno go, says Andy and Bruno, my German Shepherd. I'll say it again, Andy. I'll say it to everybody. The reality is that no matter how well we do on the pitch, we're always going to struggle when we've got Prats doing transfers and contract negotiations. You've got to be as good on the pitch as you are off the pitch, and we are absolute joke off the pitch. We need a director of football. I don't even want to get myself angry about this because I've spent so many months and so many years frustrated about the ineptitude of our transfer negotiations. We're an absolute joke. And also, can I just say, we're nearly a third of the way through January and we still haven't bought a player in when we desperately need a centre-back. So, after we lost to Arsenal 1-0, I firmly wanted Ollie sacked. So now I'm quite relaxed because he always gets away with not getting sacked and then makes some mistakes in the big games. And as fans rage, says Rudy Cox. Just a few updates before we get into the question. There are still some. Sky Sports saying that the priority for Manchester United in this transfer window seems to be selling players. Great. But Frederick Fieldvet says that Manchester United still want to strengthen the team during this window. It's unknown as to whether they will succeed. And basically the substance of that story is that United do want to strengthen. It's just whether their targets are available to do that. We really need to sign Grealish, let Pogba go and give Donny the chance to fill his shoes, says Donato. Cannot let a player like him go to waste. What's scary is when consistently playing our donkeys at centre-back and McFred, this frustrates our best players too, and if they are gone, we are gone, says Rick James. Funnily enough, I don't know I didn't hear this myself, but I saw somebody talking about it on a tweet that they'd listened to the Duncan Castles podcast about Pogba, and that there was also a comment in there, which I haven't heard yet, that some of the players were really confused why Eric Bailly didn't play against Manchester City. Now, I don't know how much weight you can put on that being true, but we as a fan base were certainly majority confused about that as well. So, I've said this before, Bruno Fernandes hugging Bailly after the Villa game and after I think it was the Everton game, putting out posts about Eric Bailly. Bruno Fernandes is not stupid. He's like you. He knows the team is totally different when you've got a quick centre-back. He doesn't want to see Maguire and Lindelof playing. How many times has Bruno bollocks Lindelof? Sevilla for one of them. So, Bruno's not stupid. He knows what's going on with that team and he knows where the weaknesses are, and it's definitely at centre-back. I know Ollie's agent and Haaland's cousin. I know both parts are very keen on bringing him to United, says Randouli. The only thing I would say, you give Paul Pogba a new contract to sweeten the deal, to basically give a load of money to Mino Raiola, to sweeten him up to get Haaland. I think this would be so stupid of Manchester United. I'm speaking freely and I'm speaking in my own opinion here. I think this would be so stupid. Chuck a load of money at Mino Raiola and Pogba to try and get Haaland, and then you get Haaland, and then 3 years' time he's forcing a move to Real Madrid. Haaland's, is he even 20 yet? I don't know. If we got Haaland next summer, he'll be gone by the time he's 25. I think Haaland's a fantastic player. I've got him on my career mode. I was just playing it on Mark Goldbridge That's Football. Check it out. But no, I do like Haaland. He's a fantastic player. But he's never going to be a 10-year career player. He's not going to come to United and go, I love it here, I'm staying here forever. He's Mino Raiola's client. He's basically the regen of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's going to follow that course. 3 years at Dortmund, 3 years at his next club, 3 years at his next club, 3 years at his next club. He's played in Bundesliga, he'll play in Spain, he'll play in England, he'll play in Italy. The career is mapped out. So is that a good idea to be a football club that buys a player gives a massive new contract to one player so that you can get another player, then you know he's only going to be here for 3 years. And also, for the 3 years that Haaland's at United, I'll guarantee you from within the first 6 months to the month he leaves, we'll be getting stories about Haaland's next club. So we'll always be unsettled while we've got him anyway. So, I mean, United will do what United want to do, but the reality is, it wouldn't be surprised me if this is United's plan, because we just walk straight into the most stupid deals time and time again. And as somebody was saying this afternoon, how much have we pissed off Ajax with this Van der Beek deal? Oh, we'll take Van der Beek. Don't worry, we'll look after him. Sit on the bench. Piss off Ajax, you know. And, you know, Ajax have got some good players that we might want to be looking at. Shaw's at centre-back, Gravenbach, who is obviously a Mino Raiola client, unfortunately. Hey, Mark, I found the stand a few months back. Amazing content. Love your insights. I'm home. Go Reds. Ollie in, says kind of Dave. Thank you very much, pal. Just a few bits of news, and then I will start taking some of your questions. Obviously, Moises Caicedo we've spoken about as well. Apparently, he's going to sign probably for West Ham. Jesse Lingard's future, this is from Sky Sports, is likely to be discussed by Manchester United in the next couple of weeks. His representatives have been given permission to talk to other clubs to sound out interest. And also Sky is saying that Odion Igalo wants to know what Manchester United plan to do earlier than January the 31st. He wants to explore other options. Well, surely we're going to let him go. And the reason that Sergio Romero and Rojo are still at Manchester United is money. The reason United can't find new clubs for them is because there aren't any other clubs that are willing to pay them anything like the money they're currently on. What a surprise! I nearly swore. What a surprise! Sergio Romero's on 80 grand a week, and so is Marcus Rojo, and we can't get rid of them. This again comes down to stupid deals of the past, giving stupid money to players that are not good enough, giving new contracts to players that are not good enough, and now you can't get rid of them. It's an expensive issue that keeps coming round and round again. We need to sign Grealish, let Pogba go and give Donny the chance. I've read that from Donato Lombardi. And welcome to the Members Club, Kevin Mowry. Also, let me just check whether we're all up to date. There's a story on the United Stand website that Man United are looking at Facundo Medina, who is a left-sided centre-back playing in France. I mean, to be honest with you, he's not bad, but he just reminds me a little bit of Rojo. Maybe that's a bit stereotypical, but I don't know. I mean, look, I would love United to sign a centre-back. Some people would say I would like to sign any centre-back, not me personally, but you. For me, I just don't know. I don't know what United are up to in this transfer window. I think it's ultimately looking like a bloody mess already. We can't get rid of these players because we want money, but they're shit. I don't blame Boca Juniors. I don't blame Sheffield United for saying, we'll take Rojo off your hands, but we're not paying you. I wouldn't pay for Rojo. I wouldn't pay for Romero. They're not worth what Man United wants, so I wouldn't pay for them. So, you know, I agree with any club that wants to get them but won't pay. Unfortunately, this is the other side of United's inability in the transfer window. Not only are we crap at recruitment, but we're also deluded at letting players go. We think we can get 5 million for Marcus Rojo and someone's going to give us 5 million and pay him 80 grand a week. Like, you've got no chance. You'll be lucky if they take him for free and give him 80 grand a week. So, you know what? You reap what you sow. We're terrible at contract negotiations, we're terrible at recruitment, and we're terrible at selling players. It's not a very good trio. Hence, we need a director of football. Apparently, it's bloody Brighton that have agreed a deal for Caicedo. Why can't our board be half decent at transfers, says the Kelly Gamer. Well, maybe Brighton can get Caicedo and we'll get bloody Basuma. But that won't happen, will it? Pogba will play a stormer during the summer finals after he leaves. Never was our player, only a fraudulent prop to show we could still get big names, says Connor Shields. And have you heard about the young prospect Mark Goldbridge? He's quite a quick centre-back who would be a great signing for us. It will be expensive though. Randouli, I'm not young anymore. Yeah. The less the said, the better there. But let's start taking some of your questions because it is Friday night and I do enjoy the Friday night Q&A now that we've caught up. So I put it on the community tab. If you remember, there are posts on the community tab for everybody, but there's some that just go out to the members. So members, I did ask for some questions to read out, so I'm just going to go through those. Abai says, for the Ali out agenda, apart for Van der Beek, Ollie's man management has been top class. The squad looks united, happy, and they play for the manager. Why can't they acknowledge that? That's his main job. Yeah, I think Ollie does deserve some credit as well. Who could we get as defensive coach realistically, says Christoph. I don't know, Christoph. I mean, look, people say get Vidic, get this to get that. What coaching ability does Nemanja Vidic have? What coaching ability does Rio Ferdinand have? I mean, specifically for Rio, I don't think he has any. hasn't most of his career. He was going to be a boxer. Now he's working in the media. I mean, he was a very good defender, but, the reality is I think people get hung up on, let's get Phil Neville as director of football or defensive coach because he used to be a defender. Let's go and get the best defensive coach in the game that nobody's ever heard of, that's playing, that's at Atletico Madrid or he's at Juventus or something like that. They don't have to be an ex-player. Like, go and get the best defensive coach that you can get. Go and get the best director of football you can get. They don't need to necessarily know the DNA of Man United. If there's a brilliant director of football out there who knows the DNA of United, you go and get him. But ultimately, just get the best person for the job. Do we carry on with Tony as our number 9 or shift him to the left and have Cavani lead the line, says BMV Patrick? You know what? You're not going to get any different answer from me. I'm a big fan of Anthony Martial. I thought he was fantastic last year as our number 9. He was our player of the year last year. I think there's a lot gone on again this year. And I always feel sorry for Martial because remember the season that he had a really good season. Then we bought Zlatan. He had a really good season under Van Gaal. Van Gaal got the sack. We bought Zlatan. He had the number 9 shirt took off him when he just launched the AM9 clothing line, which sounds funny and it shouldn't be a reason to feel sorry for him. But ultimately, you're the number 9. You do really well. The new manager comes in, never takes a look at you and says, I've got Zlatan now and he's the number 9. And obviously had a bad time under Mourinho. He has a really good season under Ollie. Player of the year. And then Cavani comes in and everyone's like, Martial shit, let's play Cavani. So Martial just never seems to catch a break. And I think he is a confidence player. I think Martial off the left is fine. I think he can play up front as well. I just want to see Martial being appreciated a little bit more because I think he is a confidence player like most strikers are and he just needs a bit of support. He's a fantastic player. Do you think the board even look at signing a centre-back in January, says Ronan Barrett? I think we want a centre-back. Who that centre-back is, I don't know. People keep saying, we're going to buy a centre-back in the summer, but Upamecano is now a player that we don't want and David Alaba is a player we're not going to get. So who is the centre-back we're going to buy in the summer and why can't we get them now? Now, if it's Jules Koundé, I'm more than happy to wait till the summer, but I still think we need a player now, and I don't think it's Koundé that we're looking for. So, at the start of the season and after the transfer window, we was all saying United would not finish above 6th, says Sin Games. We understand that we did not have the squad depth and quality. What's changed from then to think we as fans can demand anything better? No cigar yet, but at least we have a fire starter. Me, if we get top 4 this year, I'm happy. How realistic is it to expect anything more? I think that's a very good point from Sin Games because it fits perfectly in with the transfer window we're talking about. I very much remember my tantrum when the transfer window closed and I was like, what are we getting Cavani for and all this? I was in a bad mood. I didn't think we could finish top 4 because I thought it was a terrible, terrible transfer window. Ollie's done a good job. Having said that, Liverpool have been way shitter than I thought they were. Man City have been very inconsistent again. Chelsea have been diabolical. When that transfer window closed at the end of September, I was like, United are in trouble because Chelsea are better, Spurs are better, and Man City and Liverpool are better than us anyway. I think the reason we're in a title race is we've done very, very well to get in one, but also let's not forget some teams Spurs have dropped at least 12 points from winning positions. Chelsea have been a shambles, City have been inconsistent, and Liverpool have had issues as well. So we're in a title race because others have been as inconsistent as we have. But we deserve to be there, and that's why we should be taking advantage of this transfer window. What are the odds that Maguire and Lindelof start against Burnley and Liverpool, says Eric Hayder? I think they're very high, mate. I think they're very, very high. Mark, what's a guy got to do to feature on your channel as a guest? Are there any qualifications required? I already sent an email to United Stan, but no response, says Arash. There's a lot of changes going on at the moment, Arash, and it's a very difficult time with lockdown. I mean, we're trying to sort a few new ideas out, that will come into fruition in this year. But there's going to be a lot of change around guests and stuff because we're very aware that we need to mix things up. Eric Palmer says, "Hi Mark, do you think bringing in a centre back, Ollie will play him since he fancies Maguire and Lindelof worst if it's not signing based on Danny van der Beek?" Says Eric Palmer. Salmon, what do you want the first team to be when the transfer window closes? And assuming we get the players we want and need, could be coaches or director of football as well. I'd love a director of football, Salmon. I'd love a centre-back and I'd love a centre midfielder. Gonna name my son Van der Beek so that he doesn't get played, says Mazoud. And we spent 30 million on Diallo but don't want to spend on 5 on Caicedo. He's a very good and we're going to regret this heavily. If only he was Brazilian, says Bernardo Alvarado. I think from what I've heard about him, I've never really seen him play, but from people who have, I think we've missed a deal here with Caicedo. I don't understand why we were in for him and then we moved out. We'll never know the truth. I would imagine the situation, unfortunately, is quite a sad one. We thought we were starting to listen to our scouts more. We've obviously not listened to the scouts on this one. The scouts have obviously said this is a player to go and get. We've looked at the deal and said no. He's definitely been scouted by United and he's definitely been recommended by our scouts, but we've ultimately decided not to do it. And that's not unusual. That's not unusual. Scouts will say this is a good player. It'll be looked at and they'll go no. But I wouldn't be surprised if this comes and bites us on the arse. And we will always know it's bitten us on the arse. Well, let's have a look at some of your member comments as well. Remember, if you want to become a member, you can do. Click the join button. You get your badge next to your name. I'm just reading the community tab from the members' questions. Marveloso says, even I'm frustrated with Donny's situation, but compared to rival clubs, can we not rate Ollie on the depth and fitness of our squad at this point in the season? Doing a good job, you're right. It's about time that we should get 2 quick centre-backs, says Ishan Pandey. And Daniel Luciano says, where has Ollie showed growth since becoming United's manager? What things does he need to take action on? That's a really good question from Daniel. I think that Solskjaer is... we are becoming more consistent in our points accumulation. You can see that. Most of it's down to Bruno, of course. But if you look when Bruno came to the club a year ago to where we are now, our points accumulation, I think we're either top of the league or we're just about level with Liverpool. So that is consistent over what is nearly a 12-month period. And you've got to give Ollie credit there. We are more consistent. We've still got issues around team selections. I think he tinkers with the team too much. I think sometimes he doesn't dare make substitutions. You think about the Man City game, and it's happened a few times. He knows he needs to make a change, but he doesn't want to take Rashford off. He doesn't want to take Pogba off. He doesn't want to take Bruno off. He can't take Fred off. He doesn't want to take Martial off. So it's like, I can't bring anybody on, and we stick with the status quo. So, I mean, I think Ollie's doing a great job, but he can definitely do better. Definitely do better. The Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire thing is a big frustration. I think the McTominay thing's a frustration because you should be playing Matic or Pogba or even Danny Van de Beek in that position. You shouldn't be benching Van de Beek and Matic and moving Pogba to left wing to accommodate Scott McTominay. And I think people will say you've got it in for McTominay. I haven't. He's clearly a box-to-box player. He's not a holding midfielder. But I don't care whether he's Scott McTominay, Mark Noble, or bloody, Sandro Tonali. The reality is, players of that quality should not be benching Van de Beek, Matic, and pushing Pogba to left wing. One of those 3 players should be playing next to Fred, and that needs to happen as well. Evening all, says Kev on Man United fan cam. Evening, Kev. Hope you're doing well. Do we have a moaning problem in our fan base, says the Wabba? I think every fan moans at every club. I speak to Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, obviously we know Arsenal fans. Everybody moans. Kev would tell you as well as I can tell you, I used to go to United quite a lot in the early noughties. I've said this story so many times and it's amazing that people, probably don't realise it. That you'd go to Old Trafford in the early noughties, we not long after winning a treble, we were winning titles. We went on to win the Champions League again and win more titles. And yet you'd be at Old Trafford, you might be 2-0 up, and Ryan Giggs had run at somebody for the 10th time and get the ball tackled off him, and the crowd would be going mad at him. And you think, well, how, that's what competitive sport's all about. That's what being a that's what Manchester United's all about. No matter how well you're doing, there's always room for improvement. And I've seen us winning games and Sir Alex Ferguson, bawling people out on the touchline. I've seen us winning games and Roy Keane going in at Gary Neville for misplacing a pass even though the game's won. That's what made us winners, really. That demands that no matter what we're doing, we always go for more. You can always have perfection. You've always got to go for perfection. So moaning is absolutely fine. And we're nowhere near where we should be as a fan base. And remember, a large proportion of our fan base remembers winning. So, this last 7 years is not nice. We know how far away we are from where we should be. So moaning's part of the process to getting where you want to be. And even if we do get where we be, even if we were top of the league and we've won every game this season, if we went to Anfield and someone misplaces a bad pass, you'd be moaning at your TV because to be honest, the better you are, the more moaning there is because it's like you want to stay there. What can we consider to be a successful season for Manchester United after recent results, says Tim. I mean, it's the $1 million question, Tim. Welcome to the Members Club, Pratik. I don't want to answer that question, and so I'll put it to the live comments. What do you think is a successful season for Manchester United as we sit here right now? it changes. It's like a line graph, isn't it? You know, if you'd asked me in September when we'd lost 2 out of our first 3, I would have said we'll do well to get 5th. If you'd asked me just before the Everton game when Pochettino was apparently getting the job, I would have said we'll do well to get 5th. If you asked me in December when we'd just come past those games against Southampton and West Ham, I'd have said, you know what, we're in a race for top 4. And then if you ask me now, we're in a title race. So there's 4 different stances in the last 4 months. Where you asked me in February, you asked me in March, you asked me in April. Hopefully you'll ask me in May and I'll say we're in a title race because I'll be over the bloody moon. But what would I take right now? I'm greedy. I want the title. What would I realistically take? We've got to get top 4. I think at the start of the season, we've already said it on this stream, I think at the start of the season, if somebody had offered, based on that transfer window that we have, which was a shambles, if somebody had said you'll get 4th, we would have took it. But we're greedy now. We're like 4th place, piss off. We want better than that. I still think Man City and Liverpool are huge favourites for this title. And I can see if I'm absolutely honest, my heart of hearts says by March we'll have drifted a bit and we'll be fighting for 3rd. But I hope not. I really hope not. I hope that we can hang in there. But so much depends on what happens in the transfer window. If we brought in a centre-back and we stopped playing Maguire and Lindelof, then I think the whole team would be a lot more confident, and so would the fan base. I think at the moment we're all terrified that next week we're going to see Maguire and Lindelof in the 2 biggest games of the season so far. And, that's nothing to do with transfers, is it? That will be to do with Ollie. So it's very difficult to say, and I think it's going to change month to month. But right now I'd say we're in a transfer race. Kev says season success would be the Glazers selling up. And De Gea is a div, says an FA Cup or Europa League and a solid top 4 finish with a better point tally than last season. I think that would be a great season for United. I think that's a very intelligent comment. And I said that at the start of the season. For me, we got 66 points, was it, last year? I said if we can get 76, that's a good season. Because to me, it is about points tally this year. Because you can win the title with 66 points if everyone's shit. But if you get 76 points, you've improved your points tally on last year, and that's definitely improvement. So I want to see United north of 75 points. And if we do that, let's see where we are, because we'll definitely be top 4. Shannon Sharp says, do you think Greenwood will get moved back to start striker anytime soon? He's much better there than on the wing. Glazers out, Prattwood out. Well, I'm hoping like everybody else that Diallo has arrived in Manchester now, by the way. I'm hoping like anybody else that what we see with Diallo or Palestri is a development to a first team right winger. And then you don't have to play Greenwood off the right anymore. Personally, Agallo should go, and then you've got 3 forwards, Martial, Greenwood and Cavani. We've got loads of football between now and the end of the season. Never play Rashford as a number 9 again, because he's not a number 9, and let Greenwood and Cavani and Martial fight it out. There you go. But good question, Tim. Thanks to the members who were throwing them in on the community tab. We don't create enough chances for our forwards, says Christian Devil. Why is this? Is it the coaching? Is it tactical? Is it how teams set up against us? I mean, look, everyone's going to have a different opinion, Christian, but for me, I don't think we create enough chances because our wide players aren't wingers. Marcus Rashford off the left wants to score goals. Mason Greenwood off the right wants to score goals. Neither of them, their first thought is selfish. And there's nothing wrong with that. Ronaldo was the same. But Ronaldo did sometimes put crosses in. You've got to have a player like a Perisic or a Beckham in your team on the wing to put a cross in. When you've got people like Cavani and Martial playing at number 9. They do a lot of work. Hold up play, running the line. They deserve service. They don't get service unless Bruno or Pogba provides it. Rashford, Greenwood are not creating enough chances. I don't mind Martial. I don't mind Rashford playing off one wing and a creative player off the right wing. But we haven't got the balance right. And also, coupled with that, you've got Wan-Bissaka who offers next to nothing going forward. And then you've got Luke Shaw, who doesn't really get that much either, and Tellez, who's not settled in yet. So suddenly you've got 4 players who provide absolutely nothing for the forwards. So we don't create enough chances because oppositions know Bruno's the creator. And if you cut out the passes for Bruno, Martial and Cavani just become Firmino. They're basically there to create space for everybody else. It's a hard job being a Man United number 9 because it's not set up for you to get chances, and that's why we don't get many. Wyatt says, are we finally turning a corner in terms of our recruitment and transfers? Can I just say Wyatt put this out 5 hours ago before we knew about Caicedo, so I'm sure Wyatt would have something very different to say now. Nice name, Wyatt. Good film, Tombstone. Can you do a tier list on United's managers by any chance? Would like to see your opinion. Yeah, it would be very, very quick tier list. Most of them have given me tiers in relation to crying. All right, there's 4 tiers. There's elite, there's good, there's average, and there's shit. Moyes, shit. Van Gaal, average. Mourinho, probably good when you look at it, but had to go. At the end, you'd put him in the shit category. Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously elite. So I've got Sir Alex elite, I've got Mourinho good, I've got Van Gaal average, and I've got Moyes shit. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for me at the moment would be good. If Mourinho's good, then Ole's got to be good. I mean, Mourinho won us the Europa League, so and he finished second in the league. So Mourinho was good, but he's not a shit manager because he got the sack. Over the course of what Mourinho did, he achieved good things. The football wasn't good, but I would say Mourinho would just about be in the good category. Van Gaal, it was average for what I expected, but I would put Ole in the good category. I mean, I'm sure people are going to disagree, but, you know, such is life. Such is life. You always claim you're the voice of United fans, but always give your opinion. Power's gone to your head. Lorcan Smith, I do not claim to be... I mean, this is a ridiculous comment. I'm glad you've made it, Lorcan. Thanks for the super chat. So he says, you always claim you're the voice of United fans, but always give your opinion. I've never claimed this. Next question. I've never claimed this. It's really sad that you think that, because I'm not. And I haven't claimed to be that. Welcome to United Stand Members Club, Joseph Crompton. And hi, Mark. Do you think we would even send a new centre-back straight into the team? Maybe that's why they wait till the summer, says Fahim. Well, we sent Bruno straight into the team. If you're good enough, you're ready. It's like the adage with the young players, isn't it? If you're good enough, you're old enough. And Reddit Hunter says, I genuinely think we make enough chances to win big games, but our forwards makes awful decisions in the final third or miss a number of sitters. Reddit, I don't know what games you're watching. Can you tell me how many chances that we created for Martial on Wednesday night? Or other games for Martial in other games? And Cavani, I don't think we create next to nothing for them. And this is, as I said, this is not an Ole problem. This was the same under Mourinho as well. We're just not... It's not inbred into our team yet to create chance after chance after chance after chance. And the finest example was that big chance that Martial missed against PSG. And I'm pretty sure it was the 55th minute. And I and everybody else was like, that's it. That's the game gone. 35 minutes left in the game and we knew that was the one big chance. And lo and behold, it was. And as I said, if Liverpool missed that chance with Firmino, they'd probably have another 5 or 6 chances like that in the last 35 minutes. But we know if we miss the golden chance, that's it till the next game because we don't create loads of chances. Ollie won't tinker with his captain and centre-back pairing because that's basically admitting it was a bad choice. Fool's pride, maybe, says Marvelesso216. And Mark, took my parents to get vaccinated today. It's almost the end of a long journey of worry and anxiety. Without your videos, I'm not sure how I would have kept my sanity. Thank you, all you've done, says Nick P. Well, make sure your parents stay at home and stay safe for a couple of weeks. Then that vaccine will kick in a little bit. And as you said, I think we're in the worst stage we've ever been with this pandemic in England at the moment. It's horrific what's going on. Over 1,300 people died in the last 24 hours. Massive amounts of infection. We'll never forget what's happened over the last year. The mental torture, the grief, the pain, the suffering, the difficulties everybody's had to go through. But I look ahead. I actually said it to the wife today on a walk. I said, you know what? 2 weeks ago today, when we were on a walk at 2:30, I said, 2 weeks ago today, we were sat eating our Christmas dinner. And she was like, yeah, it was a nice day, wasn't it? I said, it was a nice day, and it was a nice day in its way. I did want the Lego Death Star station, but I won't moan about it anymore. But I said, you know what? For the first time in a long time, I always seem to do that. I don't know about you. I always seem to do that. Like, you know, it always seems to be, it'll drop in my head. 2 weeks ago today, it was Christmas Eve. 2 weeks ago today, it was Christmas Day. And I'd always be quite depressed about it. I'd be like, oh, you know, I wish, you know, you're back at work now. I wish I was 2 weeks ago today. I was drinking a pint down the pub. This is the first year where I've gone, as much as that was a nice Christmas day, I don't want to go back. I'm only looking forward, baby. You know, that's all I'm doing. I'm looking forward because there's so much going on and it's been such a hard year. But I really do believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and I talk about the members and joining and everything like that. I thank everyone who has done that and everybody who watches, because we booked a venue on the River Liffey in Dublin on April the 4th last year. And obviously it got cancelled because of lockdown. That deposit's been paid. Everybody had a ticket, was free. It was all sorted. It was going to be a big event. That's going to happen this year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but those sort of things are keeping me going. And we're going to do 2 or 3 more as well, because that I want to do that. I want, when we're out of this, I want to get out there and, and those times are to come. I just don't want any of you or any of your friends and family to be. There's going to be more. We know this is not the end. We know we're not quite at the peak, and when we get there, we're going to come down. Just keep staying safe, keep staying at home, keep doing things sensibly, because there are going to be, unfortunately, more casualties before we get to the end of this, but we will get to the end of it. Now is not the time to let up. Lesson over. Hi, Mark. I've had such a long week. I thought, you know what? I'm tired, Marcus Wynn, and I very, very nearly got week mixed up with Ank. I nearly said, Mark, I've had such a long, you know what? Having to teach virtually. Oh, there you go. That would have been an awful statement, Marcus Wynn. If I'd said, hi, Mark, I've had such a long having to teach virtually, that would have sounded all sorts of wrong. Love all your content. I look forward to it every day. Keep up and ignore the haters. Thanks, Marcus. Mark, watch Villa youths kicking Liverpool in the FA Cup. Nope. Where is Mengi, Mabry or Elanga? All ready for the first team. When are we going to promote youth? Every other team rotates and uses youth, even City, says Darth Raven. You know what? I do think there is a good question to be had, and nobody really mentions it now, but it used to get mentioned a lot last season. Solskjaer talks a lot about youth. Does he actually promote youth? Yes, Greenwood. Although Greenwood wasn't Ollie's player, it was he started playing before Ollie came, didn't he? Brandon Williams, yes. Twan Sebi actually played under Mourinho as well. Where's the youth player this season? Where's the youth player that's come into the team this year? Does Solskjaer get a free pass? Because under Mourinho, he never plays the youth. Why is he not playing the youth? Doesn't play Pereira, doesn't give Gomez a chance. Bloody Mourinho, this, that and the other. Where's the youth player this year that Ollie has brought into the team? Well, halfway through the season now, where is that youth player? In fact, youth players that have already been given their chance can't even get in the team. Greenwood's not a new youth player, not really playing much. Twan Sebi's not a new youth player, not playing much. Williams doesn't get used anymore. Where's the youth player? Where is the youth coming through? Now, some would say, well, we shouldn't be playing the youth when Van der Beek's not playing, and you're absolutely right. I think the problem with United is it's very hard, and this happened last year, very hard for the youth to get into the United team when you've got people like Jesse Lingard, who's only 18 himself, not even able to get on the bench with 9 players. The reason youth is not getting into this team is because we are top heavy with squad players that are taking up the bench. Dan James, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic. There's so many players of quality who aren't even getting on the bench. So that's why the youth can't get anywhere near this team. Are you hopeful that Bruno will be rested for Watford match, says Salah Ahmed? Ollie has to, the boss, and rest and not have him involved. Well, thanks for the sticker there, Jonas Grandholt. Very interesting question there from Marveloso. Salah Ahmed. Because Ollie did say, I'll have a word with Bruno because he wants to play every game but probably needs a rest. That's basically Ollie saying, I'm going to try and drop him, but he might say no. Ollie's got to rest him, because Ollie said it after the game. Ollie, he basically needs a rest, but he wants to play every game. Well, you're basically saying if he starts against Watford, you haven't got the power to stop him playing. He can't play tomorrow. He won't play tomorrow. He won't. Ollie won't say that publicly and then not pick it and then pick him. He won't play tomorrow. And he shouldn't play tomorrow. Lalana's in pyjamas says, I live in Dublin. If I come to the meet-up here in an Arsenal jersey, will you throw me in the Liffey? I won't, but I won't need to. There'll be plenty of others queuing up to do that. If anything, the youth players have become fed up and left under Ollie, says Mark Dobby. And if you look at Angel Gomez, he was probably right not to sign that new contract. A lot of people didn't want Angel Gomez to go. He's 100% right. When would he have even got a minute? If Jesse Lingard's not getting on the bench, where was Angel Gomez going to get on the bench? Shrim says, I think our tactics are half-baked. We have defensive fullbacks and expect them to play like Liverpool. We play slow backs and our attack try to press like Bayern, says Shrim. Interesting. Bayern are losing 3-2. They've been struggling all season with a weak defence with Alaba at the heart of it, says Monza. And Maguire and Lindelof pairing gets me more annoyed than that bloke with the tea bags in the sink. If you know, you know, says Ollie's at the wheel. Thank you very much. I'm just going to do a few more community member things as well, because there was quite a few. Are United looking into buying a defender soon, or do we have to wait till the summer, says Craig United? Got no idea. I would like to know, Mark, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Prime Minister, manager of United, or England manager? Jonathan Barron, where do I see myself in 10 years? God knows. I don't even know. I mean, and especially in the world we're in now, nobody knows where they're going to be in 10 months. I mean, I hope we don't get a Christmas like we've just had next year, but, who knows? But, I think the most important thing, and I think what we've really learned over the last year, is that the most important thing is not plans for the future, because you never know what's going to happen. It's health and happiness right here, right now. No matter what the challenge, that's the most important thing. So I wish that to all of you, and that's what I want for the people who matter for me. Do you think we've improved since last season, or is it a lack of quality and concentration from teams around us, as Simon Cooper? I mean, I'd throw that to the live comments. Do you think we've improved since last season? Or is it a lack of... you know what? Personally, I think the team that played from the end of lockdown to the end of the season is better than this team right now. I do. Matic, Pogba and Bruno was a good midfield three. Martial, Greenwood and Rashford were on fire. I think as a front six, they were better than what we're playing at the moment. And Wan-Bissaka was better then. De Gea's better this season. Lindelof and Maguire are worse. Luke Shaw's probably better, even though he was playing well. Wan-Bissaka's worse. McTominay and Fred, well, Fred's brilliant. McTominay's not so good. Bruno is probably the same. Our front three is not settled. Greenwood, Rashford and Martial. So I think we were probably better last year. But I think you're right. The league is worse. And that's benefited us. It's a crazy league this year, and that's not our fault. Ollie's football is best since Sir Alex Ferguson. We need more players like Bruno, players with the grit who will rag us to wins and drag us to wins, I think. And a strong mentality. We were just too soft, says Ethan Forster. I agree. Please smash a like on the video. We're nearly at 2,000 likes. And make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'm just going to shout out again, United Stand Picks. Do give it a go. Links in the video description. It's free to play, and you can win yourself a share of £1,000. You must be 18 or over, and terms and conditions apply. Please play responsibly. Links in the video description for that. How does this work? Basically, we've got a pot of £1,000. It's free to enter. You must be over 18. You can register through the link in the video description. And the reason it's called United Stand Picks is because there's 12 questions where you can win points for every one you get right. So question 12 is, how many tackles will Tellez make? Under 2 or over 2, and you get 4 points if you get that right. Question 11, how many tackles will Eric Bailly make? But of course, they might not play, so it could be under over. Everyone you get right, you win points. There are a lot of points to play for because there's 12 questions. The person with the most points wins the most out of the pot. If there's a few people with the same points, you share the pot, but people will win the £1,000 pot, and it will be distributed by those who are at the top. I think it was Elliot Wood who won £500 for the Man City game. So free to enter. You've got to be over 18. Links in the video description. Get involved in that. Play United Stand Picks. 12 questions. You get points for every question you get right, and then whoever's at the top at the end shares the pot, depending on how many people are at the top. Link in the video description. Give it a go. New thing that we're doing for every game, so it's a bit of fun, and give it a go. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning with the morning show, and of course we're playing Watford tomorrow night, so bring it on. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you soon.